All right, chat. Listen, I have been given a very special privilege. This is the top secret start match button. It was shipped out to all the casters. Apparently, the caster's desk is having a hard time with theirs, so we're going to try mine. Hold on one second. Let's see. Did I do it?
Nope, not working. Yo, Sean actually told me before the whole thing started, he's like, yo, I'm never pressing that damn button again. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, is it really a problem if we can stare in DDK's eyes all day? I think it's a win.
That's why I didn't have an issue whatsoever, but I think reflecting back on what DDK and Sean were saying and trying to theory craft what this lineup is going to look like or what this matchup is going to look like. I mean, we had a chance to predict who we thought was going to win, but I don't think we had our reasons why. I have a 2-0 at this point here for 100 Thieves, and I don't think necessarily that Immortals would be an underdog in this matchup though. I think it's actually 100 Thieves that's the underdog of this matchup between Immortals and 100 Thieves, just because they have Ethan in here, just because they have to less practice, I guess, and they have to figure things out to try to beat a hot up-and-comer such as Immortals right now.
But you know what? I think it's a, devil's advocate right now. A lot of us are saying 100 Thieves because of the fact that we know their track record, right? If Still says, we're going to be ready for this event, we believe them. They win those events. But coming into this right now, I'm looking at it from like an X set and phase type of matchup, right? This is really scary because these are two very drastically in different play styles. You take a look at Immortals, right? And going against a one duelist lineup in a very strategic team, I mean, yes, 100 Thieves can pick them off if they're overly aggressive on the side of Immortals. But Immortals, I mean, you have Shot Up and Chemicals. Chemicals with that all play, like I said before, it's going to be hard challenging that unless, Ethan or Nitro want to pop off. And still, Shot Up exists. And when you have that Reyna / Bree, shout out to Potter calling that out. If you have him on the board just popping off, it's like, okay, you have Asta to battle against him, but then also Chemicals is still on the board. How are you going to strat and game plan around that? I think that with them going one duelist, they might not be worried about that for the simple fact that Utility can block off a lot of lines of sight, and I think they can work their way around that still. Nobody should sleep on Immortals, though. 100 Thieves, I mean, this is just like a faith thing that we're predicting them, but you guys got to remember, throughout all the challengers, Immortals have been like one of the best teams. They've been popping off everywhere.
Here's something, though, that I think is interesting. I think right now, looking at 100 Thieves, this is potentially the lowest level that they'll perform at. And I'll explain why. With the more recent change, I feel like they actually drastically impacted their agent composition. So looking at Nitro was potentially one of the better omens in North America. I loved watching Nitro play, especially on a map like Icebox. He was like the multi-kill king. He would consistently lurk and find so many kills and high impact kills as well, opening up different avenues of attack on the map. Now that he's having to switch to other roles so that Ethan can feel comfortable playing the Omen, it's taking him down a level. Now, the team still finds wins and they still succeed, but when they unlock that next level and you see a new agent come in for Ethan to play, I think that this team is going to step things up to a whole different level, because then you can get Nitro back into that Omen position that he feels comfortable in, and you can put Ethan maybe on a duelist. Christine, if you're looking at a player like Ethan, what's the agent that you think makes the most sense for him in the long term?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I'll say that I don't necessarily view him on a duelist, to be honest with you. I mean, I know he's only 20 years old, but in my brain, he's like old. He's almost he's like a middle-aged man for some reason. He's just been around for so damn long, right? And that's rare to talk about when you're talking about a 20-year-old person. So definitely for Ethan, I'm thinking he's gonna have a lot more responsibilities than just a duelist has. Sure, duelists, they have a lot of responsibilities, but really at the end of the day, you're entering and you're getting a lot of headshots, as many headshots as you can. I'm thinking for Ethan, because he's got that experience under his belt, I think 100 Thieves are just going to keep experimenting with the one duelist, maybe even no duelist in the future. I think with 100 Thieves, they don't want to take as many 50-50 duels as they can. They want to be a little bit more calculated in their approach. And with the agents that they've been selecting, you can clearly see that. Now, the consistency, we haven't seen it yet, but at the same time, 100 Thieves don't play as many matches as like an Immortals does either. They don't compete quite as often. So I don't know if they're going to have a huge honeymoon period that's just going to keep going forward into 2021, or if we're going to see that kind of stop and break, because the growing pains, I think, are to be expected.
Alex, do you agree?
I do agree, but at the same time, I want to go back again to the maps because this has been going through my mind the whole time while we're talking here. Is I'm still surprised as to why Immortals picked Haven versus 100 Thieves when they actually haven't really played it during the VCTs at all. And I wonder if it's because they figured out how 100 Thieves currently play it because they've switched Nitro out to a Breach, where he was able to set a lot for the team too, playing as a Breach, as an anchor on the A side, or sorry, C side. When you have Steel that's anchoring towards A side, they switch that around. That could be a way to maybe counter what they have against 100 Thieves. But what does Immortals really have, and what can they do to actually get to play against that?
Yeah, speaking of the maps, let's take a look again at the maps just so you guys know where we're headed throughout the series. Again, we did already see the picks and bans. We're just working on some issues to get this match live here. Looking at the maps, it was 100 Thieves who selected Ascent. Immortals picking an interesting second map in Haven, not something we necessarily expected to see. And then we will be going to Bind for that third and final map. Comfortable territory for sure for both teams, but one we've seen successful throughout the history of every iteration of this Immortals roster. So do you think that it ends up coming to that third map? Vansili, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking about. I don't think it will, because 100 Thieves were able to have some great progression on Ascent since day one. I think day one when they played versus, I think it was Energy, right? Their first game, and it was Ethan's debut, and they played pretty much a Counter-Strike game because it went like 16-14 or 17-15 actually, if I remember correctly now, because I remember Steel tweeting out, oh, we wanted to make it look like it was Counter-Strike, but we couldn't finish at 16-14. We went over to like a double overtime or whatever it was for them to be able to win that match. So from that day into the further days into Ascent, they looked a lot better, and I think it looked up a lot better of how Nitro was playing Sage too. It was unorthodox for me the first time that I saw that he was putting a wall right in the front of A main when they're executing into the site and set up a cross into the door when they take control of the site. So it shows how they want to play different angles on the executions. And as Christine mentioned, they don't want to go too much of like the in-your-face 50-50 when they rush in. They want to be meticulous of how they want to execute into the sites. And as you see this progression, it's paying off for them. And now they're good on Haven as well. Oof. I want to know what Immortals has under their sleeve for Haven.
Get the button ready.
Get the button ready? Oh, okay.
Get the button ready, Bach.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can...
This is your moment, Bach.
Countdown. 3, 2, 1. Did it work? Casters, are you ready? Is the game starting?
I mean, it looks like it. We're good to go. We're here on Ascent. We're checking out the agent selects, and finally, it's happening. At least I hope so. I don't want to be wrong. I'm sure everything's good. So here we go. We've already talked about Ascent. We didn't go into too much detail as we are waiting to see what agents we're going to get. Hiko, obviously, with the typical troll sitting on the Viper. We know he's not good for it. We know he's not good for actually. I mean, when you do this every single time, I feel like Hiko just needs to kind of disperse it out a little bit to make it a little bit more believable. But we'll ignore that for now. Obviously, in terms of things on the Immortals side, one of the elements that I'm really looking forward to is, as we kind of mentioned, is how disruptive are they going to be able to be? So we had a question as to whether they're going to be getting that Reigner pick on Shut Up, or if we're going to see the Breach. So as we can see right now, still kind of mixing around the agents. But I think one of the things that I'm going to be looking for regardless is making sure that Immortals are attacking like these areas such as A main, B main, making sure they can make these control plays. If they're able to do that, I think that's going to be a huge aspect of the mid round as to like how those fights go, because if they commit into those, they might get some frags off of them. Otherwise, they'll maybe earn some map control, or maybe lose some, maybe commit 100 Thieves to more players in that area of the map, freeing up other areas of the map. It's a lot of different elements to this, but I think that aggression is a huge part of the win condition here for Immortals. We're gonna have to see how it goes though as we get into this. Super excited, and I think it should run to the bathroom very quickly. There you go, you're back.
I am
Welcome back.
Yes, I am super excited. We are in the server finally. Did Shot Up pick Breach, Dan?
We did not get the Breach pick. We got the typical Hiko troll sitting on the Viper for a while, but everything's standard as we'd expect. So the Reigner comes out for Shot Up. So all is good in the hood.
All is good. This is going to be very interesting because I think Shot Up is going to play a super disruptive style on this arena. I think you saw Sentinels dismantle 100 Thieves on this map, correct? Where Sick was just all down their throats, just destroying their defaults, right? I think Shot Up might try something similar right now. and it's going to be such an exciting match to watch from his point of view, I'm sure.
And we'll start off with that A main aggression indeed coming through from Immortals, looking to take control there. You just mentioned Shut Up being maybe a big piece in this aggression, and we can see that already. Shock Dust coming through, trying to punish the ult pickup. Steel trying to get a little bit closer here. I love that Steel picks up Sheriffs in these pistol rounds. Again, there's a lot of like just quirky things that he tends to do. And just waiting for an aggression, but there is none so far.
There is none, and this is just 100 Thieves spreading the map. They're trying to force 2 to 3 people to play this A site, and Steel has done a fantastic job because this is a B hit. And these 2 players at the B site, smoke off the turret. So the lack of info coming in right now for 100 Thieves, do they realize this is going to be a B hit? I don't think they recognize what this is.
Looking to go for the breach here. The wall is up to cover the path straight through to the site, so looks like 100 Thieves should be able to get over, but nice paint shells coming through from Chemicals. That's going to whittle down the numbers on this plant defense coming through now for 100 Thieves. They don't really have that much in post-plant positioning at the moment. They're going to have to rely on still making them run all the way across from spawn right now, but can they hold on for long enough? Looks like all is well so far. Asuna, Nitro picking up the frags, but not before Nature has something to say about it. Able to retake the site, but now it's Hiko and Steel coming into play. Trying to create problems. Great flick initially. Now down to Nature. Hard position to be in. No health to work with, and Hiko is going to finish it off.
Whew. Hiko lives around 1 HP left. Great job spreading the map, though, by 100 Thieves at the start of that round. Forcing, 3 people in that A site. Pouncing on B. I believe they probably heard the turret through the wall, which is why they smoked B main. 200 IQ play coming out of Ethan right there to throw that dark cover. And now here we have the second round, and it looks like, unlike the Stinger meta, Immortals is going to concede this one by full saving.
Oh, we got a little isolated lineup coming through there as well to deal with that aggression they were expecting on A main. Oh, everyone is just sending it through to A main at the moment, and it's actually working nicely. Immortals picking up that opening kill, creating some problems. Nitro does have a wall still, so he can just cut them off completely. They wouldn't really be able to do very much if he does pop that down, but wants to keep that wall alive. And Nitro with the challenge is not afraid at all. Out comes the classic as well. My God, this is actually just mad here on A main, Sean. You think that this is deathmatch?
It's actually crazy, but I respect that's a veteran play out of Nitro. A lot of people would think, oh, we just run away from the A main push, but they didn't actually know how many people were still in A main. So Nitro opts to, take that fight against the people without weapons. The fights aren't that bad to take anyway. So why not just take them? Closing out yet again another round. Doing what he does best. 100 Thieves up 2-0. And now we have the first gun round of the entire game.
It's really interesting, Sean, here, because we're seeing this presence around A main, and we know that, Gangster and JC Stanny are probably going to continue the pressure there by themselves, even if Shut Up moves around the map, but we still have a lot of presence there.
This is definitely something that tells me, this is kind of an anti-strat type feel that I'm getting right now out of Immortals. They really want A main control every single round against 100 Thieves. Look how much pressure they're putting. 3 people here every round. One-way smoke coming there from Omen. And meanwhile, 2 people nested in the B site. So they fully give up mid with a turret holding market. And this is going to be, again, a passive round coming out of 100 Thieves. Steel using the turret to clear top mid. Sliming out into what we call Sabrosa spot right here. It looks like Hiko's going to work with Ethan to grab control of A main simultaneously.
I like this switch. Oh, the paint shell's going straight through deep. Oh, JC Stanny picks off 2, and they managed to evade the incoming paint shells as well. So really great work there. Great timing found by Immortals. And it's all by design, I feel like. They, as you say, they deny the control around A main. They kind of realize that a rotation has to come through from 100 Thieves to take some control. They find them in mid, and now 100 Thieves, 3 against 5. It's going to be pretty difficult to find value here, and that's a great Nate. Again, Chemicals delivering with the paint shells. He is good for it on that raise.
What's that, 3 this game already? 3 in 3 rounds, paint shell frags.
That's awesome. What a track record to work with. But in terms of 100 Thieves, 3 versus 5, they're going for tree control here, trying to push through with the drone. Nice opening kill from Ethan. Still a winnable round here. The paranoia comes through, but it misses Ethan, and that's the mechanics we were talking about. Oh, and Nitro makes it worse, and all of a sudden, Sean, a 3 versus 2 advantage for them.
Yeah, the trades all go in 100 Thieves' favor, and this is a nightmare scenario all of a sudden for 100 Thieves.
Very difficult retake scenario. Turret will be taking it down. Ethan playing the headshot positions with his teammates, and this is so hard to get through rafters here. There's limited utility. Paranoia comes through to just make life a little bit worse. The dark cover as well. And it's looking extremely grim here for this retake attempt. And just like that, a 3 versus 5 into a 3 versus 0. 100 Thieves with a really nice recovery after what looked like a great approach from Immortals.
Indeed, yeah, they had such a good early approach, getting a main control, leaving the one-way smoke there. You know, if the attackers, try to get control of that again, they're going to make sound cues. You're going to know that they're in a main in these pro matches. So they recede back to catwalk and they take the fight mid. Everything is going their way up until the point where Chemicals is caught in that slow and dies on catwalk. And then everything crumbled so fast.
It's actually quite interesting to see that there is no stingers at all here, but just all sheriffs. That's pretty cool. See what Immortals can do with that. Obviously, Sean was praising their skill earlier, so sheriff is a fantastic weapon to really capitalize on that. But looks like A main will be given by Immortals. They're choosing to play more of a retake setup here. They don't want to put anything to chance with some of these early aggressive plays, likely because they've just been going to them so often. And 100 Thieves certainly expect that.
Yeah, this is interesting because we said Immortals kept taking A main control. This is the first round they didn't take A main control. Are they ditching their game plan, or is this just a different look? We kind of have to wait to find out, but right now, 100 Thieves is in full control early in this game. And you can see they're moving these Immortals players all over the map right now. They're trying to force 2 people in this B site before the A hit happens. But actually, 100 Thieves is reading this quite well.
This will be quite interesting here for Immortals. They're going to have opportunities to get a couple of shots. They're shot up. Beautiful initial kill. More trades coming through here. And the time is starting to become an issue. 20 seconds to get the spike down. They don't have site control just yet. They don't have time to rotate. 100 Thieves have to force the issue. There's the wall, able to look over the dark cover at the back. That's a nice touch, but JC standing with 2, and all of a sudden, Immortals slow and patient, methodical play might pay off. There's no time, just have to play the time very slowly. Gangster, he knows Nitro's committed to this plan, but which way will he peek first? Gangster going for the swing here, trying to get the right guess, but it's Nitro to save the day, gets the ace, and the res for the economy right at the end.
I love it. There's so many little things 100 Thieves did well right there, and it looked like Immortals had all of the answers. I mean, they had the sight stack, shot up, getting the entry, dismissing out. I loved Nitro's wall in the back of A main. Allows him to see over the dark cover. He's able to protect his teammates who are from people coming out of heaven, as well as see over the sight box into hell. Such a cool little, wall that I haven't seen out of Nitro, who's not really a Sage main.
Again, 100 Thieves, they've got so many tricks up their sleeves, and was a great touch indeed. And oh man, I mean, at least for Immortals, they did a lot of damage to the economy, and 100 Thieves will probably be, I feel like, encouraged to go a bit faster on the next anti-eco. But we do have the operator coming out from Chemicals.
Oh, damn, look at the conditioning from 100 Thieves throughout this game. So this is the first round Immortals didn't get A main control. They just had 3 people nested in A blindly, and that's the wrong call.
Yikes, and that is Asuna not finding the love. He is looking for again Chemicals with paint shells. He just finds so much value. The operator is what he's carrying, but it doesn't even seem to matter at this point. Just give that guy the nades and he's good to go. And this is the lurk, though, from Seal that could change things a little bit. Hiko's committing the plan on the site, and there's the follow-up. Nades from Chemicals, obviously refreshing the signature off of those 2 kills. They know precisely where Hiko is right now. He's going to pick up one, but surely not. It is Hiko after all, but there's so many players. Paranoia comes through, back against the wall in the boathouse, and he is going to be sent very far away, and Immortals picked that one up. Wow, Chemicals, I don't think I've ever seen so many nade kills from a Raze this early on.
It's wild. The one he's throwing, though, into lane from Market on these B hits is devastating to 100 Thieves B hit. Because what they do is they're walling, so that way they all have to go that way into the paint shells. And it's just such a tiny corridor. It's the perfect agent to have in the perfect spot, throwing the perfect piece of utility right now.
It is definitely much needed as well. Immortals picking up one round. They've had a few close ones, but love to see if they can. Yeah, it's going to be some A main pressure as well. I like the Ice Orb as well. That obviously stops any re-aggression because you can't move into that and take a fight. It's too disadvantageous, so that's going to win the Orb control. Oh, there's the Satchel, though, trying to punish it with the ult. Chemicals not finding what he's looking for. The Paint Shell's not finding a frag this time.
100 Thieves is up cat right now. From the side. Oh, Chemicals whips around.
Chemicals is in such an important position with the operator, trying to hold things down here. The entries are coming, though, from Ethan and Asuna, although Immortals are doing a good job at holding onto the control. They've got spike control as well. It's down in tree at the moment, and it's just looking very difficult for Hiko, who's stuck in a main behind this smoke, and he will get traded through. And I think, Sean, just as you said, like, that they were able to, 100 Thieves were able to get up cat, because Immortals were not scared and they maintained the A main control. They actually were able to defend that because they held onto A main. So it was such a close timing.
It was incredibly close on the timing for 100 Thieves right there. I mean, they got up cat completely unnoticed and had Gangsta in the side of the head, but he weaseled away, and then Chemicals just peeks out, plucks one off, and I mean, at that point, everything stalled out. 100 Thieves couldn't advance forward anymore.
We were talking about the A main takes in the pregame and the agent select. I didn't expect it to be this dominant so far.
Yeah.
It's it is what the story is primarily about right now.
Yeah, and then once 100 Thieves gets it like this, they usually go and, you know, reclaim other areas of the map. But Chemicals has full B main control, which is allowing his team to 4-stack A right now.
There goes the Hunter's Fury from Hiko. He's usually good for one, and there we go. The counter ult coming through as well from Gangsta, looking to see what he can find. Slow down the push, the wall behind the smoke once again. It's looking great, though, so far for Immortals. Shot up, able to pick off one. JC Stanny by the button as well, so it is still quite difficult here for 100 Thieves. More utility thrown in. I'm not sure if it's... Yeah, it looks like it's going to be called off here for 100 Thieves to reset. Steel has lurked up towards tree, and they can use him to just hold this position.
Dan, JC's right on their heels. Oh my goodness, what an amazing ult coming out of Ethan. Enters an empty B site. JC Sonny's lurk completely worthless now, and everything has changed.
It's crazy too, because how could he have known? I don't think you could expect that. Steel though, oh, you expect Steel to pick that one up. That's what he was there to do. Catch the rotations. Be in a sneaky position, but JC Stanny takes him down, and that might just tip this round slightly towards Immortals. Coming in on the retake, they've only got to worry about B main and the site itself. The recon is going to tell them that both players on site are probably Boathouse. So lots of info here on the retake for Immortals as they push forward. It's all about the perfect timing from Nitro, but as I say that, he's going to find it, and Hiko will finish it off. Immortals struggling here, but it does feel like they're putting up a great fight.
They really are, and Nitro on this Sage, he is 15-4, Dan. He's doing the battle Sage. We haven't seen it much in NA. It's taken a long time, but all it took was Ethan switching over and stealing Nitro's agent, and he's a monster on Sage, I guess. I mean, he knows all these Sage slow lineups now. He's walling in the back of A main to look over the smokes, getting different elevations. He's playing it perfectly right now.
I have to say, I do think the slow lineups are very underrated. We don't see enough of them. They're extremely good. Maybe
no defender wants to push in front of that. And you can see he's lining that one up for B main, so that way no one wants to push in B main. You'd be stuck.
Immortals just did a 3-man clear A main, but the pacing here from 100 Thieves up mid is quite fast. But Immortals, the A main players have now already rotated towards Tree and Cat, so they will try to push forwards. And there's another one of those walls looking over into the site. That's a more commonly known one. I'll have to see if Gangsta can survive, though, because I feel like there might be a peak there for Nitro, but he will hold on to his position for now. Gangsta will be forced back off spawn, so B-side control is looking good here right now for 100 Thieves. Immortals, once again, in a very awkward position. Don't really have the numbers. JC Stanny's going to have to do something insane to make this look doable here for Immortals, and nailed through the smoke. Very unfortunate for him. And with that said, Gangster will also fall 6-2 for 100 Thieves. But again, it feels, Sean, like Immortals are doing a great job with their game plan. Like they managed to figure out what was happening. They just don't seem to be able to stop it when, you know, once 100 Thieves have position.
Yeah, it feels like death by 1,000 paper cuts right now for Immortals. I mean, it's just slowly, piece by piece, utility is pushing them back further and further, you know, chipping away at their HP. And meanwhile, 100 Thieves is just slowly advancing into the site. Nitro's getting more aggressive angles on his wall. And everything is just playing out in 100 Thieves' favor as the round draws on. I think next gun round we might see Immortals try to open things up with a bit more aggression towards middle. They've yet to try that, and I think that would help them out a lot.
What's interesting in this round is that it's another one of those save rounds. We saw this almost be won by Immortals previously, where they stacked everybody with the Sheriffs towards the A site. This time they started the round with 3 on B, but now they've rotated all towards A, perhaps respecting the utility from 100 Thieves. Great nade from Chemicals, found a great timing, lots of damage done. Asuna very weak now. And that's important too, you know, Raze is the entry player. You want to get the Raze satcheling in. Ethan will take control on Catwalk too, so it is looking pretty good here for 100 Thieves, but time is starting to tick.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of confusing Immortals right now. You can see Nature rolling back to the B site. He doesn't know if they're in mid. He doesn't know if they're in B main. He's very lost over there in the B site. But they've still guessed right, and that opening Bucky kill is going to slow things down on Catwalk for Steel. He has second thoughts about following up that direction.
From Ethan's perspective, that was so amusing. But we'll see 100 Thieves finally pulling the trigger on the attack. The entries are looking undeniable so far. The site is now theirs. They can get a plant with some seconds to spare. Still damage to be done here, though, but Gangster not finding his shot. Maybe Nature can do one better with his Sheriff. And this will be 100 Thieves going 7-2. And as you say, Sean, we're going to go into the next gun round. And you wanted to see more aggression in middle from Immortals just to switch it up.
Yeah, that, and I think it helps to play aggressive towards middle when you have a Killjoy ult, because you could always just retake either site, right? You can play in middle, you can try to shut down the defaults and the mid control, and then if they do hit a site, you have the Killjoy ult to just easily retake it. I don't know if that's how Immortals thinks, but you can clearly see they have a tactical pause right now. Their game plan is definitely not working. So they have to switch things up on the fly. They have to adapt. And I'm curious to see what that adaptation is going to be here. By the alarm bot mid, I don't think they're going to play aggressive mid. I think they're going to play passive mid. So the turret is going to hold the B main contact. And the Raze is going to immediately break that turret. Draw a rotate to B, hopefully. But again, the battle is going to be at A main. We say it time and time again. This A main control. Whoever wins the A main fight here is likely going to win the round.
Yeah, and it's something that's, it does seem very comfortable for Immortals to fight over this. And what's great to see from 100 Thieves is that they have setups to deal with a team like this that has so much expertise taking this position. And once again, the exchange of utility, the ice orb, you can see that it just is so paralyzing. You can't really get too aggressive, but with the counter utility, that does buy them the timing to actually walk out and not respect the ice orb, which is huge. Great nades coming in from Chemicals again, dealing lots of damage. Heal unknown in an elevated position.
And that's a big kill for Slippicate, because that's going to keep these two at A main. It might draw shot up a little bit closer. No one's holding Cat right now, so Gangsta's feeling tons of pressure. Just the loss of that person in A main changes everything. And the Cat Lurk is coming in now. Oh my. It's a heaven split, Dan. This is insane.
That is quite the wall. Love to see that. And you're completely right. Circumventing any players around the site. And that's such a smart move. And there goes the satchel play. Gangsta's going to drop Asuna, though.
They know he's stuck, though, Dan. Look at this wall.
Oh, God, there's nowhere to go. But at least Gangsta picks up one more. But Nitro is fragging out so much. He's got just reses for days. Shut up, though, from above, from the rafters position. Looking to try to reclaim some kind of space. Make this look doable. 2 versus 3 here. And nice little juke there from Nature in the fight against Ethan. However, the Killjoy ultimates coming in should nullify one another. And that kind of cripples things. for the retake attempt. Nature, though, is going to pick off Nitro. Look like they want to try to get rid of this defender Killjoy ult.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Dan,
no.
can he get around the corner in time? He can. Wow, Nature doesn't know where Steel went.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Heartbreaking.
And there's just simply no time at this point. That's so unfortunate. So close. Having to invest the Killjoy ult. At least they forced it out from 100 Thieves as well. But at the same time, it's just heartbreak indeed. 8-2 in the advantage now for 100 Thieves as they continue to find a lot of success. And that split was genius, Sean, especially because they know how heavy Immortals like to play in A main. They aren't playing players passively in those positions. So they get so much free control.
Yeah, it seems like 100 Thieves is doing this seesaw in the A site, right? If Immortals shows heavy pressure A main, 100 Thieves will lurk catwalk because they know that Immortals cannot watch both simultaneously. And vice versa. If they're showing heavy presence catwalk, 100 Thieves just grabs A main for free. And they're just playing off of whatever Immortals shows right now. That's what they're doing at the start of the round. They're playing passive now, A main again. Shot up. This is a very different look. He's solo pushed. He's ready to take this fight the entire round.
And this is cool to see too, because with that control, they may expect that once again 100 Thieves may just try to walk up catwalk, and there is the setup hit ready to deal with that. Trying to find a timing, going for the push. JC Stanny wants to take the initiative. I think they've spotted one. Actually, maybe he didn't see the head there, but doesn't matter because Asana's going to go down anyway, and they can fall back off of that. They got what they wanted. 5 versus 4, and in the meantime, Steel's lurking the A main position, keeping presence. And Chemicals he's asking questions. Oh, they're going to push straight through that dark cover into his line of sight. However, some ground gained by 100 Thieves here. This is going back and forth right now. So it looks like Immortals are in a pretty good spot.
Nature sending Ethan back, but the split is still on. 2 people coming through market, and they're going to beat the rotate. So Nature is going to have a 1-on-3 right now in this site.
Oh, able to almost capitalize off the paranoia, trying to escape the color. It's going to work out for Ethan as JC Stanny's able to take him down. Good fights coming through. They have the numbers advantage, and now it's a 3 versus 2. So just out to steal. The entry coming in from Gangster is just phenomenal work from him. Beautiful team play ultimately from Immortals, and they've worked so hard for these rounds, and finally they'll pick another one up.
They did work hard for that. When the rotate was coming in, I thought Ethan would have a dark cover in his pocket for CT spawn B, and thus they would have the 1-on-3 on Nature. But no smoke spawn means the rotate comes in, and they can't even get to Nature. They don't even get remotely close to the site.
I really love as well just how they just had shot up solo holding A main. I think that timing they found an Asuna in mid, that was huge, and they're going to go back to their shenanigans here on A main.
They're going back to B, and they're going into Chemicals, who's had all this success with the paint shells, and he has the ult, the showstopper right now in market. This could be a massive round out of Chemicals.
Ooh, sending the boom bot forward too. He might get some info off of that. So he knows that there's at least a lurk there, and there go the paint shells. Oh, beautiful paint shells coming through from Chemicals, and the showstopper Taboo. Gangster able to finish off the Hunter's Fury. So much damage being done before 100 Thieves can get the push started, and that's going to leave them just crippled.
Holy cow, the heads up play to throw the paint shells through the wall where the Sage wall happens. Oh my god, love the adaptation out of Chemicals right there.
Last player standing.
Oh my god. Did they like shoot Steel before he peeked there through the wall? That was like some precognition stuff going on from Immortals. And Eco in the 1 versus 4. How many times have we said that? He will have a free site to plant. He has himself a Hunter's Fury.
Yeah.
But it feels like he's going to need a couple kills, it feels like, before that ult's going to be viable. And he's going to play site, which may be beyond the expectation. They know he can't move too much further, though. They'll just trade it out, dropping off all 3 from the rafters. And that's going to be 4 rounds for Immortals. Something to work with in this half. And again, I have to say, I feel like Immortals did so much right. Yet, this is what we were talking about. 100 Thieves, they just managed to just do such a good job, no matter the situation, always having a counter in mind.
Yeah, and that's an 8-4 dominant half by 100 Thieves. And you look at the scoreboard, and their only duelist is at the bottom. I mean, Asuna, their star players at the bottom, and they still had such an easy time that half. this is a rough spot to find yourself if you're an Immortals fan, because if Asuna gets activated this game and he's finding entries and they're winning the late game scenarios, that's when things really could be snowballing.
I'm hoping to see, going into the second half, everyone's hoping to see a competitive game, of course, always, but hoping to see a good start from Immortals in terms of getting the pistol. I really want to see how their defaulting develops and the style that they are approaching this with, but again, it's going to be down to the success they find here and starting things off with a lot of mid presence, actually. To go pretty fast towards Market and Pizza.
The alarm bot and Steel actually let the molly in mid. That's very rare coming out of Killjoy. He's slowing down the hit. Nitro's gonna be first contact. Takes back Steel.
Ooh. It's looking awkward, like they were gonna get sandwiched, but somehow the sandwich strikes back. You've got Chemicals getting the frags, moving out of Market, and now it's just Asuna and Hiko remaining to try to do something, and Immortals are not letting up the pressure. They're just charging him down, and I gotta... if you looked at the minimap, you paused when all of Immortals was standing in Market, and 100 Thieves have seemingly, if you look on the minimap, the best positions possible to make their lives impossible. Somehow Immortals still got all of the kills. So I don't know how that works, but I am happy to see Immortals getting off to a good start in the second half.
Yeah, I thought the bait setup from Nitro and Steel in the B site, especially when Nitro's first contact, I knew he would take that peek and then hide. It felt like they would definitely not clear where Steel was, but ShotUp just destroyed him. That was the turning point. Nature putting the alarm bot in B main, basically telling him no one's gonna push B. The turret in mid, so he has full map control over here on this left side of the map. Meanwhile, the rest of his team, can lurk A.
Fun to see the mid aggression coming out from 100 Thieves on the defense here, and a good read from Immortals. They see so many players, they can just fall back and away. Always fun to see a shot dart kill. Ooh, Asuna, can he pick up that Bucky? That would be nice. Doesn't look like it might be possible though. JC standing on the other end of things, holding position, leaving just Nitro in mid alone. Nitro would come away well with an extra kill. Looks like it might be very difficult to find it, but we'll see if he can do that. Otherwise, I would say, this round, the result looks like you would expect it to be. And what should we be looking for from Immortals on their attack, Sean? What do you want to see from them?
Well, it looks like what their goal here is going to have Nature be on that B side of the map or A side opposite of his team, right? And just show presence, hold it down over in the opposite direction. Right now he's heading over to B. So this is a weird, awkward round because they're keeping all these Spectres. Gangsta has an Ares, ShotUp has a Bucky. They're probably just going to send it this round. But in future gun rounds, I would expect Nature to be away from the pack. This round is going to be wild though, Dan. So I'm going to go ahead and let you take control. This one.
Not sure if I should be thankful for that, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, Steel's gonna... He's instantly... So this is a great read, trying to slow down rush timings. And that buys time for Steel's teammates to get info on the rest of the map. And that means that they have info A main now. So off the bat, it's looking like 100 Thieves get all the info.
Yeah, because they're in A main and droning off Cat. They know all these guys are B, but it's not going to matter. They're not going to get the rotating time.
Oh my god, I love the play from 100 Thieves in B main. It's so intelligent.
The slow molly combo while you're simultaneously pushing A main for info. So no matter what, on a round like this, you would know if a team is going to do a sight hit. This is so smart from 100 Thieves. But now, because Immortals has slowed down the round, I actually favor them because they have the utility advantage. 100 Thieves required a lot of utility to do what they did, and they were expecting a fast-paced round. And no longer are we in a fast-paced round.
Yeah, just looking to contact into the A site. There's not really much stopping power here. Ethan has a paranoia, and he's going to have a couple of smokes available too. So Ethan's huge in that, and I think he threw a paranoia pretty early there, but we'll see if he can do some damage with the rifle. Out comes that paranoia. In fact, I was mistaken, but he's going to get all the frags anyway. Great trades coming through from 100 Thieves, looking like they're getting all the value, leaving just the lurk. Nature coming up catwalk, and there's already tall task, and unfortunately there's no time. No plays to be made, and 100 Thieves will win the round. And it's cool, I have to say, Sean, that we saw Immortals after we praised 100 Thieves for their opening so much. I feel like Immortals did the right thing. And I think, you mentioned that too, that they went into advantage with how they rotated and played slow. So it's good to see that they know what to do. They know how to read the map well.
It's very easy to feel cornered. Like, we have no map control. We have to go B. We have to. We have no info on the other side, so you have to go B. But they said, no, we're going to go back to A here. And we're going to clear out the map. And that was actually the right decision.
So more A main focus.
Here's
the start of this round.
At that B site, though. He alarm botted very aggressively. Nitro's pushing up. Nitro gets tagged by that alarm bot.
And we're going to get a pick up here from the Hunter's Fury. Nice openings. All this focus around A main working out.
This has to be over. Immediate 5-on-3 for Immortals. Spike going down. I don't know how 100 Thieves comes back into this round. Hiko, no ult. Asuna, no ult.
Well, pain shells are there for Asuna. He might be able to clear some space with that. Looks like they are following your assessment and backing away. This is one of those situations where if you can get a quick, easy one, you might consider trying to get something else and then kind of work your way forward, but nothing given right now from 100 Thieves and rather from Immortals. So it looks like you're totally right.
Dan, they're showing tons of pressure on the CT spawn exit of the site. Everyone is about to come in a Nitro who just put a very quirky wall down in CT spawn, holding for this push. This is going to be wild.
Able to pick off one. There's the paint shells too. That's actually going to cause problems too. Oh my god. This is actually really problematic.
Oh, they slowed him into the spike,
no.
man. No way. Oh my god.
Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, I love the... This is what I'm talking about, man. Exit kill strats. That's what you want to see.
This is what excites you, Dan. This is the stuff that you lose sleep over.
Yeah, I mean, it's so awesome to see too, because like one team thinks they've crushed the round and they've gotten to the site with 5 players. Like you said, Sean, they've crushed it. They're not going to drop a single player from that point. You think the other team's saving? Nah. And they're just setting up to wipe you out. That's awesome.
Technical pause here. One of the Immortals player probably punched a hole in their monitor when there was a slow A main and they were trying to live from the spike.
Oh, that's so genius from 100 Thieves. This is the level of stuff you do need. You do want to see out of the top teams. Just what are the edges we can create? Because there are a lot of teams that would perhaps have actually tried to get some mileage retaking there, but instead of 100 Thieves, they knew the spot where they could say, all right, well, we have a setup for exit kills. We know that there's like no chance we can get back into this site. Let's try to just do damage in a way that is on our terms.
I need to know where Nitro has found all these Sage walls. Is there like a Discord like Average Jonas's? And here's Nature showing B main presence again. His teammates are gonna work mid. He is getting pushed on a lot. He's feeling a lot of pressure in B main.
I'm just loving this slow ops, man.
Yeah, and here's shot up. He's gonna go through the smoke, but the drone kind of slows it down his timing a bit.
Enemy tag.
Oh. Disgusting for Nico.
Nice play. Asuna comes through. He tries to punish off of the tag from the drone, but it's not going to work out. Asuna not finding the connections he's looking for so far. And that's definitely a welcome sign for Immortals. Oh, Ethan's going to spot a peek there. That's going to actually tell him a lot. It tells him what the mid-round rotation is. Right now, Immortals want to finish on this A site, and 100 Thieves know about it, but can they stop it? Great nanoswarm coming through from Steel to slow things down. Ethan playing around the smoke when it looked like 100 Thieves were going to be struggling. They find every frag, the lurk from Nitro in mid as well, leaving just Nature 1 versus 4. And, well, that's going to be a wrap. 100 Thieves take him down, and considering how much economic damage was done because of the exit kills in the previous round, yep, there's no money left for Immortals.
I mean, you painted the picture so perfectly. When Ethan peeked A main and saw the Omen there, I mean, a lot of viewers might think, he just saw an agent there. But a CS player thinks that Omen cannot smoke B spawn. B is out of the picture. These guys are definitely hitting the A site, and there's definitely people coming up catwalk right now. And you could see it. It was like a hive mind type mentality. Everyone started rotating towards A. But here's a B hit. This is going to be... All 5 are there.
And actually, there's no... I don't think that... Oh, there was a slow. Man, these slows are so money. The value from these slows are insane. The amount of rotation time this ball, the defense with a matter of chemicals is straight out there. And he's going to find Nitro, Nature onto Asuna. And just like that, Immortals managing to find a timing into this B site because of the duelists, because of these forward engagements. And this is going to be a tough one here for 100 Thieves. They've got a lot of utility to work with in terms of what Hiko's carrying, and the Paranoia is available too for Ethan. But this is going to be very tough. In the 3v5, they spotted a lot of info. Lurk through B main. This timing onto JC Stanny is going to be huge. If Steel can get control of this position, he can work with Ethan. It unlocks the potential for them to coordinate back into the site as they manage to try to make their way up sidewall, just slowed by this utility. Nature with the Nanoswarm. And now it's just down to Hiko, and he will be taken down again. And oh, you'd love to see it, Sean. Just these slow orbs, I feel like a lot of teams will be conditioned to feel like they can't make the fast exec, but still, Immortals recognize that they can still do that.
That's a devastating round loss for 100 Thieves. Immortals coming in with a thrifty. They go right past the slow. Chemicals satcheling in. You know, the only one on the team with a movement ability to get past these slows. Abuses it, catches 100 Thieves completely unaware. I love that call for a thrifty round.
Beautiful stuff, and I wonder if that's going to change the story here now, because we can see 100 Thieves, that's breaking their economy. The Buckies come out in Asuna.
Yeah, we have a game now.
Yeah, and it's mid is the call right now to start things off. Of course, Immortals understands.
Shot's going through this.
He's brave.
Ooh.
That's his job in the rain. I like the paint shells to cover shot up so he can escape it without being harassed. And this is all an information game too. They're trying to find, you know, what utility is being thrown at us to counter, what rotations can we force, are we going to get any extra info, and resetting into the A play. But how will 100 Thieves figure this out in time? It looks like maybe not.
Look at the rotate. I mean, Immortals reading this round perfectly. They're coming into form right now, right when it matters.
This is a great one. These anti-eco rounds in Valorant, I feel like, are very difficult against top-level teams. But as you say, Immortals navigating it quite nicely.
On an eco?
Oh, he's going for it. I didn't expect that.
I did not expect this.
We'll have to check the ult economy at the end of this round, but
they're pushing
they're going, indeed, they're absolutely going for it right now. This is
very
aggressive.
To stop it.
No way. How many people are going to get detained? Oh, no! Everyone's getting detained. 3 players detained on the side of 100. Oh, this is just madness. I don't even know how to call this here. Obviously, the spike's still ticking away. There's no one near to defuse it, but that was just nuts.
That literally looked like some awkward middle school dance. You know, like everyone keep their distance. You know, make sure your skirts are long, your shirts are all tucked in. What is going on here? I've never seen 2 people on opposite teams. What?
Next to each other. That is just so crazy. I mean, I was struggling to work out what the hell was happening there. I'm sure they were as well. We were talking about the ult economy too, because still opting to drop the lockdown there in a round that doesn't seem winnable, and obviously wasn't in the end. They're still coming out ahead slightly on the ults. Nitro with the res, Eco with the Hunter's Fury, Asuna 2 away from the showstopper. So it's going to be interesting to see if that comes into play.
They're just sending shot up right through these mid smokes. The difference in styles is so apparent when you watch these teams. The Reyna is so strong at going through smokes. Typically in pro play, that player would be traded out, so it's not a good play as an attacker to go through the smoke. But a Reyna, if they get a frag, can dismiss out. But the aggression on catwalk from Ethan, finding too early, Dan. This round looks like it's over.
Yeah, really nice timing. Immortals maybe overstaying their welcome in mid.
Ooh.
That slow pace can be a double-edged sword, and at least there is 1 kill back, and JC Stanny lurked through a main during this time. So even though it's a 2 versus 3, the positioning of JC Stanny can change the round completely. They don't know about this maneuver. They can possibly anticipate it. We can see Hiko has expectation that this is a play that is possible, but it comes down to the frag. JC Stanny gets it somehow, and with that frag, there is a chance now.
Nitro does have a res, so even though this is a 2-on-2, Dan, this next frag is so important.
Player standing.
And there's the res, as you said. And now for Nature, the kind of shenanigans he's going to have to pull out is going to be really nuts. He's just been spotted too, so slow up comes through, drops back onto the site to find a headshot. Isolates one player, the second for Nature. He's looking for the last one. Complete the clutch, he gets the dink! Oh no, that's heartbreaking!
Dan. The 140 dink comes in.
Oh, the Vandal fam, man. One more player to the Vandal fam, I think.
Oh, what an insane clutch opportunity right there from Nate. I thought he had it. He was playing it so perfectly, and he played with so much confidence taking those fights.
Oh, it's just, he found the timing on the first player. Sometimes, you think, oh, they misplayed it. They were 3v1, but just, he found the perfect timings, like you said, to isolate the 1v1s. And that is just insanely difficult to find those timings. It's so hard. And you said we had a game on our hands here, Sean. It's 11-9. 100 Thieves look like they're about to run away with this one unless Immortals can come up with something.
And you can see 100 Thieves is just full rolling into B main at the start of these rounds. They know Nature's there alone. So they scout it out for free at the start of every round. And then they play passive. They realize the next 30 seconds an A hit could happen. But these A players, they're actually on an island. Shot Up is about to have a field day.
Tag, but it's onto Race, who can satchel away. Asuna pulls out the showstopper straight through to A main, and that is dodged completely by Immortals. And Shot Up reopening the site with 2 entries is going to steal this away from 100 Thieves, who are now going to have to play the retake battle. They do have Hunter's Fury available from Hiko, and Steel, he's just going to go straight out there. But we do have the lockdown coming through. Nature is very wary of Steel's push there. Pretty common to want to push these lockdowns on the edges, and Nature's just denying every single one, like the bouncer outside the club, denying entry. Hiko in the 1v3. It's never good to count Hiko out. Always good for a clutch, but this one is looking quite difficult. Players on every single angle. And JC Stanley taken down 10-11. Immortals bring themselves back into this one.
They are in full control of this game now, Dan. Look at the money on 100 Thieves. For the first time in this entire game, I might think, 100 Thieves might lose this game. It's about to be 11-11 after an eco round. And the momentum and economy is fully on Immortal's side. Nature playing so well these last couple rounds.
I'm really impressed by the resilience from Immortals, given how the first half went too. It's just looking like such a great matchup, and slow pace coming through from Immortals here on the attack. Definitely feeling they're playing the anti-eco. They want to make sure they don't run into any setups, using the drone to make it safe as they start to contact through a main, pick up the orb. One away now, Chemicals, from another showstopper. And they're just going to straight entry onto A. So they've gambled this a little bit, Sean. They didn't have that much information, but they're correct. And it's just Steel. I say just Steel, but they know that he's there now in the hell position with the Bucky. Ethan, oh dear. He's managed to actually find himself a frag and Steel with the Bucky, causing problems. This isn't supposed to be happening right now. Steel with the Bucky again. And it's not looking very good at all right now for Immortals. They don't have control. With the last bullet, though, Nature finds a headshot. So much more work to be done here, though, as he has to reclaim control of the site, has to win the battle against Hiko, and that's the first box ticked. One more to go as the swing comes through, but with the thrifty, it's Steel, who locks it in for 100 Thieves for the 12th round on the board.
Oh my goodness, just Steel in the site. You said it. You couldn't have said it any better. He was all alone, just nested in there with a Bucky, and they could not get him out. It was just, he refused to go down. 3 with the Bucky, 1 with the Vandal to close it out. A 4K on the biggest round of the entire match for the in-game leader on 100 Thieves.
Nature was so close there as well. His pre-aim was slightly off his peak. It's just, he's been playing so well. Oh, wow. This is it. All the marbles for map 1 at least. Can Immortals find a way to do this? They have good weaponry at least. Chemicals on the showstopper. Nature 1 away from finding himself a lockdown if he can get an orb somewhere. Which he made sure to get the main orb.
I don't think Hiko's aware. It doesn't matter. You could see Asuna is aware that it could be a possibility, so he drops the boom bot. Whew. Shot Up is so scary on this Reyna. He's willing to make the plays to give his team a chance.
The tension here is palpable as we see the pace slow to a halt. Typically, when the pace is slowed this much, you can see Immortals were expecting it. A cat push comes from 100 Thieves, which has worked, but Immortals were ready for it this time, but it won't come through. Ethan, using the ult from the shadows there for info. They're so starved of information right now, but here comes the entry play. Oh, dodging it with the satchel. Erasna coming back in. Deal with Shot Up, but it's looking great. Immortals had what they needed to string together the kills to get in towards that B side, but they're not done just yet. Out comes Nitro. Dealt with the nades from Chemicals again. And there it is. The spike is going down. 3 versus 2 here for Immortals to try to keep themselves alive here on Ascent. It's going to be tough, but there's not a... I mean, the lockdown is available for Steel here, Sean. If you can find this kill...
Oh, but Nature drops the lockdown first, Dan.
Oh, there's the swing.
Round.
And that's looking good. It's looking really good. It would have been even better if somehow they would have convinced Steel to drop his lockdown, but Hiko's still alive. He wants to cause some problems. We'll see if he can do something crazy. It is Hiko, and he's found one of the 3 that remain. Charging into the site. The time is forcing his hand here. He has to keep charging down, and Nature's going to take him out. And there you go. Immortals, 11-12.
Oh my goodness. These rounds are so close. They're so close. And even though 100 Thieves won an eco to get us into that round, look at their money yet again. It's broken. Steel, only one able to afford a rifle. He has an op. That's the only weapon of value on his team.
Sean, it's crazy too because the only ult of value is the lockdown, but you can't really retake very well with an operator. So do they even want to play for the lockdown?
He's speaking off Cat. He's looking for an early kill.
Oh, he nails it. Oh no, they're giving it to Steel right now. The nade's come through, but he's done his job. He's got 2 and only down to 50 health. This was the win condition, Sean. This is the one thing that had to go the way of 100 Thieves to win this round was for that operator to work.
Yep. It's crazy. You live by the fight, you die by the fight, Dan. These guys have been taking these fights every round, and they haven't been punished by an operator yet. And that could be because Dicey's not in the server. Ooh. Oh. But if you look at this, the B site could fall. This is not locked away yet.
Yeah, the retake power with these weapons is not great for 100 Thieves, even though they have the lockdown. So if Immortals can just get into the site, that would be huge for them, their chances to turn this one around. JC Stanley, he senses the lurk from Hiko in the smoke, takes him out, but Nitro has a Bucky on the site. He's playing the angles. He knows the spots that's going to work out for him with this Bucky. But look at the pace. It's slowed here again by Immortals. They're trying to catch rotations. Nitro is going to be spotted in, or rather Ethan spotted on spawn, leaving Nitro here to make a play potentially. They're still just sitting outside the site. Nitro's wondering what's going on. He is eventually going to get abused by that slow of pace. And now the site is there. But with the operator,
he has the lockdown. You mentioned it, Dan. He's at the wrong site, but he has a lockdown.
There's a rifle there for him to pick up too. Sean.
He's gonna go B main and get a really solid lockdown. This is the attacker lockdown, but JC Stani is gonna challenge this.
Oh, so smart by JC Stani. He knows the only way Steel could win was dropping that lockdown. He knew where he was gonna drop it as well. Great kill comes through. That's overtime here from map 1 between Immortals and 100 Thieves. This is a hell of a game. This is just had me on the edge of my seat the entire time.
I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. They slowed it down to perfection that round that B hit. I mean, they waited out. Ethan loaned Nitro a smoke for the stairs. They had to wait that out with no spawn smoke. They could have died to market. They were so patient. Oh my goodness, that was beautiful from Immortals.
I just love when a team is able to cut pace in such a chaotic situation like that, and then it works out. It just takes so much discipline and team play and communication to pull it off well, and they nailed it. That shows you they are ready to take this series. Immortals, they're fighting hard. And back to the A main shenanigans for the first round of overtime here is we see 100 Thieves on the attack for Shot Up. He's looking for that initial engage, and Asuna, he knows better.
Tossing the jiggles underneath the dark cover one way.
Powers out.
And we can steal
Okay,
there.
Dan.
That is a nice way to make life even harder for Immortals. Losing cat control, losing a main control. 100 Thieves are in such a great position here. Immortals in so much of a struggle, and it gets even worse. And they're just crossing the T's, dotting the I's now, moving into the site, using the drone, using the Ice Orb, but there's really not that much to worry about at this position. Only 2 players remaining.
You mentioned it, you know, crossing the T's, dotting those I's. The slow is heaven. We're in a 2-on-5, and everything is still meticulous. 100 Thieves. They're not rushing.
One enemy remaining.
Oh,
Well,
they'll rush that.
that's,
Okay, well,
that's one way to do it.
That'll end the round.
Finish it with
Nice.
style. It's nice for Asuna too. Asuna is obviously an amazing player. He's someone that can always be so explosive, and he's not found his spots in this map so far a lot of the time, and that's, I think, great credit to Immortals for how they've managed to deal with him when he is in the picture. So good to see Asuna getting a little bit of love from the showstopper right at the end there, and we'll see now if Immortals can answer back.
Yeah, this is what we need to see, right? We need to see Immortals answer back. This is where they had all their success, their attack half. They've been droning out this position from Nitro. Will they do it again? Here it comes. Yes, indeed. Nitro's droned off of that position. That's the waste of a wall that has won them many rounds so far.
Bit of cat aggression coming through from 100 Thieves, looking to see what's going on in mid, but the rotation's actually very fast, so moving forward towards the B site. But look, the timing here from Asuna was also very good, able to try and slow this down, got some extra info. However, they were not able to stop Immortals from getting that side control. Ethan is left alone in a I mean, we asked the question at the beginning, can Immortals answer back? And they pretty much put 100 Thieves in exactly the same position they found themselves in the previous round at the hands of 100 Thieves.
Yeah, this is scary right now for 100 Thieves, and I'm going to tell you why, Dan. Yeah, I can tell what Steel's thinking right now. He peeked off Cat in that last round of regulation and saw the default from a different perspective. And as an in-game leader, he now realizes what's going on. He realizes they're just, dry walking out
Switching
mid,
sides.
and Shot Up's just walking through the
Overtime.
smoke mid. That's all they're doing. So why don't we just stop that? And now they're kind of playing into Immortals' game plan a little bit. They're taking these aggressive fights. They pushed into the dark cover mid, off Cat, and I'm worried that 100 Thieves right now is straying from their game plan, which got them, the massive lead to begin with.
Don't overthink it. That's my job.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if that mind game pans out in the favor of Immortals or 100 Thieves as we move back into a main focused approach here from 100 Thieves. Grabbing that orb, getting it onto Hiko. And cat control, of course, you give up A main as defenders, you got to have something back. They've got 2 players mid, 2 players cat, leaving just the killjoy on B right now. So definitely in a good spot to play the retake game. They see Steel top mid. He's the lurker. That tells them a lot of info right now. They know the A play's coming in. JC Stanley's going to spot it. And now they just have to play the 5 versus 4 retake. Let everybody get into position.
Yeah, and this is an amazing strat that 100 Thieves has been running for a while now, where they dark cover out of A main, and Nitro actually walls from inside the dark cover for the door. But they're fighting tooth and nail to stop this retake right now.
Yeah, trying to get rid of all that defensive utility around the spike. Paranoia comes through though, and the action's about to hit. He's able to defend through the smoke just for 1, and the frags are so fast. The flurry is insane, but it's down to 1, and it's Ethan who is going to prove himself the better as they hold on to the site. That's insane. That was so close.
Oh. 100 Thieves managed to hold the site in a 4-on-5 scenario. I think the Sage in these post plants, we've kind of brought it up here and there, but Nitro's slow orbs that just stop the 2-pronged attack that you typically see on retakes, whether it be at B site from stairs in lane or A site from door in heaven. Nitro's picking one direction and slowing that direction, and it's completely messing up the retakes.
Yeah, I completely agree that the Sage has been just such an incredibly powerful pick, and there's so much to just say about that, but of course we are in the thick of it right now. Back into a mid walk from Shot Up, and this time it doesn't seem as though 100 Thieves are too overly concerned with stopping it, sort of allowing Shot Up to just do his usual, and instead You'll see Steel just poking a little bit from Catwalk, and the rotation coming in towards mid here. So they are definitely, Under Thieves are definitely worried about this mid split potentially towards B.
Ooh, this is a scary situation for Under Thieves again, because Immortals is actually winning this default spread every round. 100 Thieves is guessing the wrong site right now. They have 3 people B, 1 mid, 1 A, and the cat split's happening. Everything is on their new player Ethan.
Yeah, you're so right here. It's just a behind, but Hiko able to peel away chemicals. That's a massive pick to get right before the site take. And Ethan's there, backside, playing the dark cover, and he's isolating 1v1s. In comes the trade though. JC Stanny's good for it. Right there by the hell position, looking to slow the approach, but Steel's found himself an angle in the chaos, creating more problems. 2 versus 2, Spike getting planted, paint shells are sent out, and it's not going to find too much in the way of damage, but gives Nitro another fight. Nitro against JC Stanny, and he's going to lock it down. Great stuff there from Nitro, and again, I can't believe it. 100 Thieves like that, they're going to lock it in. Sean, what do you even say about this game?
What a performance by Nitro on the Sage. I've heard whispers, doubting his Sage pick. He's typically on that Omen. Wow. I hope they're not doubting him anymore, because he had so much impact with his walls, slows, and let's not even get into the top frag thing. I mean, he had the team on his back right there. They really needed that performance.
It's just an unreal map one. Just the fact that it was an 8-4 start, I felt like Immortals played pretty damn well. I felt like they knew what was going on. They knew how to play around what 100 Thieves are doing. Then you saw the adaptation from 100 Thieves who know that Immortals' game plan is that heavy A main control. And there's a lot of teams that don't have enough tactically to kind of deal with that. They kind of just lose that battle. But we saw a lot of the adaptations from 100 Thieves, and then just a great dynamic. And then just to see Immortals, I think they stepped it up individually as well. That was like something that we really started to see. Nature was going nuts. Chemicals as well. There's so many moments in that game that were just phenomenal.
I cannot wait to see Immortals map pick, because that was 100 Thieves map pick, right? I felt like we saw an Immortals that was super prepared, an Immortals that I had yet to see. So what we're going to see on the next map is going to be a treat. And I think 100 Thieves is in for a surprise.
Absolutely. And with that said, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back with map 2 for this awesome series.